Alright guys, this is how these lessons work. So you're going to read through all of the information, watch any videos, and you're going to summarize what you've learned in the segment, and then you guys will submit to Schoology under the plan number. This one's plan number 1. So while you're reading, you guys are going to be writing questions that you have to the right for anything you read that you don't understand, so that you can go and then Google those questions. So if you're reading the first passage over here in step 1, Hermann Ebbinghaus, and you didn't know who he was, so I would start with, and right to the right over here, I would say, who is Hermann Ebbinghaus? And I would then go onto Google, and I'd go look up, who is Hermann Ebbinghaus? And I'd go read a little bit about him. And he's a German psychologist. If you don't know what a psychologist is, then you say, who is a psychologist? And you kind of do the same idea until you understand who he is at a very base level, and then you go back to your lesson, and you can continue adding those questions. What is psychology? And then you keep doing this. His research was groundbreaking. His work, although he was not a proliferate writer, what does proliferate mean? So you ask the question. So your goal is while reading, it's not just reading, it's reading while recording questions about what you don't know. So you're going to read, you're going to record questions of what you don't know, then you're going to summarize what you read and learned, and what you learned might also be just based on the questions you asked. So it doesn't just have to be on the article. You might say that you learned what psychology is in this, and you might learn that Ebbinghaus is a German psychologist, and you might learn the reason that he was famous was, or whatever it is. So it can be based on your questions too. So you're going to be doing this for all the lessons where you take this style of notes where you ask questions off to the right, and you read and you go down. So I should see off to the right when you submit questions throughout all of this stuff, even including questions you have on what I say. So that's kind of how the lesson works. Now, time to start.